most eyes on you, the most to prove. What's your prediction? What's going to happen May 2nd?
I put Rolly to sleep with the left hook. That's it. That's what you're going to see. Period.
Lion situation. I see that's the most tension. Is there real beef there, or is it just you want to get ahead and you see him as a guy that you sparred a lot and you feel you should be in that position?
No, I want to chop that kid's head off.
Just 2 weeks away from Fatal Fury, City of Wolves, tensions between Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero have exploded. Things went from heated to hostile when Garcia headbutt Romero, and the fight hasn't even started yet.
Don't try too much. You know, Rolly's going to give you everything you want. So kind of just going to let the fight come to me, and then I'm going to take over. You know, I'm a better fighter all around. So I feel like it's going to show in the fight.
Fresh off a 1-year suspension, Ryan Garcia was clear to fight just 5 days before the event. His rivalry with Rolly Romero runs deeper than the ring. Spanning a year of online jabs, leaked messages, and now, a physical clash before the bell is even rung. For many fans, Garcia versus Romero was always a powder keg. The headbutt, that might have been the spark.
He's a tremendous fighter. He gives a tremendous fight. But winning people, he cannot be, happens to be myself, Gervonta Davis, and depression. So.
Meanwhile, Devin Haney, Garcia's longtime rival and the fighter many expected to be part of the story's climax, shares a card, but not the ring. He'll be squaring off against Jose Ramirez, a formidable contender with his own point to prove. Rounding out the top of the bill, Teofimo Lopez is set to take on Arnold Barboza. Some are calling it more filler than feature, but with Teofimo's name value, it's a matchup that still earns its spot.
He said he's looking past you to fight Devin Haney. That doesn't concern you at all?
I think Devin should get the fight again.
But he said he's not even worried about you. He's not even thinking about you. He's looking forward to that fight, that you're just going to be a bump in the road.
For all the heat packed into the card, what's happening outside the ring might be even more unusual. The venue, Times Square, has never hosted a professional boxing event before. It's public, it's iconic, and it's wide open. So when promotional images started making the rounds online, fans naturally assumed this would be a massive, once-in-a-lifetime outdoor spectacle. Something you could just walk into, be a part of, and watch history unfold right before your eyes. But that expectation may have been a fantasy from the start.
I started boxing at 17. I got signed to Floyd when I was 20 years old.
I'm putting the money up right now. If Ryan Garcia can beat Rolly, I give him 200,000 cash.
According to Matchroom's Eddie Hearn, none of that was ever real. The viral mock-ups fans saw online weren't official, and there was never any plan to sell tickets. I believe those came from AI-generated fan accounts or hype pages. Hearn said in a recent interview, pouring cold water on any hope of public attendance. He made it clear, the reality is far less accessible. This isn't about the crowd, Hearn emphasized. It's about the cameras. It's about television. It's about the spectacle, not the people.
Tickets, I mean, there will be people there, but not open to the public in terms of tickets. And the team, you know, we're running all the logistics for that event. It's very, very difficult. Frank Smith and everybody, you know, really flat out on it. It's going to be an iconic moment. And yeah, who would have thought you'd be shutting down Times Square for a fight? But it will happen. May the 2nd, and we're looking.
The revelation left many fans stunned. Why choose Times Square, arguably the world's most public stage, if not for spectacle? Why embrace the chaos of New York's busiest street if no one's actually allowed to watch in person? Hearn didn't dodge the business side of it, either. If it were up to me, we'd be selling tickets, he admitted. You're literally leaving somewhere between $5 and $10 million on the table by not having a crowd. But it's not up to him. He's just one voice behind the curtain. This event is being guided by a completely different vision. One that sees boxing not as a live sport, but as a cinematic broadcast experience.
So if I am Oscar De La Hoya, and since Oscar De La Hoya is Ryan Garcia's promoter for Golden Boy Promotions, if I was Oscar De La Hoya, this is how I would book and promote Ryan Garcia moving forward. I heard that Ryan Garcia called out the weakest link at the 140-pound division, that being Rolly Romero, who is the WBA world champion at the 140-pound division in the sport of boxing. And Ryan Garcia was smart for calling out Rolly Romero last night in that boxing ring. So I think it's smart to go after the weakest link in Rolly Romero at the 140-pound division.
That's where the comparisons to other wild location concepts start to roll in. Hearn casually mentioned the rumored 2026 Alcatraz boxing event, which is reportedly already in the planning stages. Once again, the objective wouldn't be packed seats or fill bleachers. The goal is to stage boxing in places you've never seen it before, locations that have nothing to do with the sport, to spark curiosity and grab attention. It's a bold, unconventional strategy, and not everyone's sold on it.
Ryan Garcia going up to 147. I'm not going to say, I think he's going to be fast. I'm not sure if his strength is going to translate to 147. It went with him to 140, but that doesn't mean it's going to go with him to 147 because that's welterweight. And now, he's back with Eddie Reynoso, so I want to say, in my opinion, he looked all right with Eddie Reynoso. He looked his best.
Then there's Oscar De La Hoya's take. While Hearn focused on the financial side, De La Hoya leaned into the spectacle. He's reportedly gone on record, predicting that 500,000 people would show up in Times Square to watch the fight for free. Garcia himself echoed that sentiment on Instagram, hyping it as a massive public gathering. But from a logistics perspective, that prediction doesn't hold water. There's no seating, no crowd control infrastructure, and no sign that New York City authorities are preparing for anything close to that scale. If crowds do descend in those numbers, it's more likely to turn into chaos than celebration. The whole event now sits in a strange gray area. On one hand, it's being hyped as boxing Super Bowl moment, a groundbreaking shift in how the sport is presented.
So kind of,
I'm helping him out.
hey, so Rolly's kind of the one who won in this
He just
deal.
he got lucky.
Damn, Rolly's always somehow finds a way.
So Rolly pulling, he just rolls into it.
And this will probably be the biggest payday of Rolly's career.
For sure.
How do you see the fight going?
I destroyed that man.
You destroy that.
On the other hand, the event feels deliberately designed to shut real fans out. If you're not a VIP, a celebrity, or a hand-picked guest, you're not getting in. The visuals scream public spectacle, but the logistics say closed set. And that brings us back to Garcia and Romero. The build-up to their clash has taken a sharp turn. What began as a stylistic showdown, power versus speed, chaos versus control, has veered into something deeply personal. The headbutt wasn't part of a stage promo or press event. It was raw, unscripted, and caught on shaky phone cameras. That clip didn't go viral because it was marketed. It blew up because it was real. And fans didn't react with curiosity. They reacted with bloodlust. It's clear now, Garcia isn't just looking to beat Rolly in the ring. He's out to humiliate him.
Those claims are Rolly?
I do.
Think he wants to fight? Yeah,
I think for both fighters, obviously the common opponent right there. I think that both fighters, obviously Ryan just fought Tank.
Yeah.
I think he'll be better since fighting Tank.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with Rolly. I think Rolly became better from fighting Tank. I think that they knew certain mistakes that they made. I think they believed in their game plan. Got us all to believe in their game plan. I think they came to this fight with.
And then there's Rolly. He's never been one to back down. He's been calling out Garcia for years, mocking him at every turn. Even going so far as to question his mental health, his comeback, and whether his suspension was legit. For Rolly, this isn't just another fight. It's a shot to play the villain and shut Garcia down for good. And with the circus-like atmosphere surrounding the event, anything can happen. The stage might be set in one of the most visible places on Earth. But the fights themselves, they're shaping up to be raw, gritty, and undeniably real.
And they can do some damage. And Ryan Garcia, look, he's coming off, it's going to be about a year now. He's hungry. He's hungry to get.
And that's what makes the whole setup so contradictory. The backdrop is clean, calculated, almost sterile, designed perfectly for cameras. But the fighters, they're coming in raw, emotional, and unfiltered. You've got Teofimo Lopez fighting to prove he still belongs among the elite. Hain is working to remind everyone why he's considered one of the sharpest operators in the game. And then there's Garcia and Romero, dragging each other to the mud, each determined to make this fight intensely personal.